So shout out to the Shake Squad, Naughty Gang stand up. It's your boy Shake. Before we get today's video started, I want to touch on this quick topic: how to find elite randoms. Now, I know some of you guys don't like that terminology, randoms, but even if you haven't played with me before and you run with me for the first time, I'm a random. Like, I'm not talking to you, you don't know me, you have no idea what I'm gonna do. And it's not always derogatory or demeaning to call somebody a random. It just means you guys don't know each other and you're just playing with whoever just to get some games in. Now, from 2K18 to 2K19, I made a lot of awesome friends picking up randoms anywhere. Like, I would just go anywhere, you know, if I'm trying to find somebody to run with. I like to make new friends. I see people with some cool looking builds and I just pick them up. But that also cost me a lot of L's. This year was one of the first times I decided to just kind of stick with my squad and see how good I could do. And lo and behold, I have a 90 win percentage. So finding elite randoms to run with is definitely something you want to do if you don't have your whole squad, or if you're trying to get some games in for double rep weekends. You definitely want to find the right guys. Shout out to my boy Spec for coming up with this good idea. We went to the Ante Up. And I know what some of y'all are thinking, like, yeah, Shake, but you got that 2K logo. Listen, I know before 2K logos ever existed, I always had a crowd from, you know, 2K14 all the way to 2K18. You know, there was no logos, so I've always had a crowd, and that's mainly because I have a YouTube channel. But if it were me, and I had one of my friends with me, but we needed one more so we could streak for double rep, triple rep, we want to find an elite player, the Ante Up is the best place to go. My friend and I would definitely find guys that are standing around, because usually if you're brave enough to go to the Ante Up, you consider yourself pretty good, and we've had a lot of success finding good players at the Ante Up this year. So definitely give that a shot. You and a friend, go look for somebody in the Ante Up, and if they don't come, they don't come. But if you can invite them to a party and convince them, hey, come out of the Ante Up, let's go play for some double rep. We'll get VC later. If we can streak here, we can definitely streak in the Ante Up as well. Let's see if we can do some work on the park. Let me know how that works out for you guys. Your boy Shake. Enjoy the rest of the video. So this is footage of that first game of us running with Saucy Prime, 99 overall offensive threat, random that we found at the Ante Up. And to him, I'm the random. You know, I was like, hey, I gotta prove something too. Let me make sure that at least for the first game, because we don't really know how well he plays, I'm gonna do the majority of the damage myself. Look at that, that was well contested. Wow. I mean, I can't complain too much. It's not too unrealistic. Lots of NBA players do that. I do that in real life sometimes too. So if it happens in 2K, not a big deal. As long as it doesn't happen too often. And right here, he's gonna brick that off the side of the backboard. So I'm gonna get an easy fast break. And we're just gonna take advantage this first game. I'm testing out our new guy, but I don't want him to feel like he has to do too much. So we're just gonna let our defense dictate this game. And we're gonna take this away from these dudes here. My teammate gets a mean screen, and they get an easy dunk, 5-8. My matchup is definitely just like me. I think it's like a pure playmaker trying to rain a lot of threes. And I'm just getting that 6'6" long arm up in his face. And he can't just have that. And right here, he's giving me way too much space. I'm like, oh, you gonna give me space? We're gonna knock that down. The PG's eventually gonna get tired of playing hero ball. It's either that or he's playing nervous. A lot of guys play nervous. I'm gonna kick that back out. Saucy Prime wide open for the green release. 5-15. They got a big ass center. Now he's hoping to try to hit a three, and he knocks it down to our surprise. Now look at this idiot celebrating. This is why you lose, and this is why you're cold. I'm not even gonna come down on offense. That's easy buckets. And our guy Saucy, he's gonna sauce him up a little bit. He's gonna find Spec wide open behind the line, and that's the game. So far so good. No pressure. On to the second game. So I have a 2-game minimal, or at least a 2-loss minimal. If I take 2 L's, we are definitely gonna switch things up, pick up a different player. But Saucy's an elite too, and since there was no pressure in the first game, I'm like, let's get him the ball all game this game. Let's make sure we picked up somebody who knows how to play. Definitely has a high win percentage, so we're gonna give him the ball a lot more often and see if he can get some buckets of his own. But right there, we gotta get that easy bucket off that step back. But now it's time for Saucy to cook up. We want him to show improve. Step back jumper, green release. Okay, he's getting into his method now. I know that's the way he likes to play, especially with that build, but Spec is right there for an easy steal. And we give it back to Saucy and get out of the way. Let him cook up and do what he does. We can tell that this is the strategy that he probably wins with a lot in threes. And look at his shot. Clearly from half court. Green release. If you can shoot like that, you might as well shoot like that for the rest of the game. Just pull up from half court. It used to be Hall of Fame limitless, and now it's Hall of Fame range extender. Next year it's gonna be Hall of Fame half court shots, Hall of Fame logo buckets. Look at my man Saucy crossing him up. He doesn't really need that much help. He just needs that speed boost and that step back, and that's a green release every time. And if you don't know, he's the sharp slasher offensive threat pie chart. Not the sharp play or the play shot, and I think at 6'3", 6'4", he can definitely get contact dunks, which is kind of strange. I've always had a problem with 2K doing that as they knock down a big three. I don't know, why is it when you make your player shorter, you have a better dunk rating? Like, that makes no sense. The golden height is like 6'4" or 6'5" every year in 2K because of that rule. When you're 6'6", your dunk rating goes down. I don't know what kind of balance system 2K is using for that. But I even asked Wifey that. I'm like, does it make sense that because a guy is taller, he should be able to dunk more? And without question, that is the case. But we knocked down that big three to win the game. Saucy takes home the game ball. So at this point, things are going great. Usually when I pick up somebody new, after 2 or 3 really good games, I invite them to the party. Usually about 2 games, I'll invite them to the party. And then we decide at that point of whether or not we're going to add that person based on their personality and whether or not they, you know, can mesh well with our squad. And, you know, he's already been playing good. Right here, I got robbed because of that screen flip. Well, my man Spec is here to pick up the trash. Try to dunk it right after that turnaround, but it doesn't work out. They hit a green release contested shot in Spec's face. You know he gets mad for that. We go into the rack because we know it's almost impossible to stop the pure playmaker from finding his way to the rim. As long as we start off in the perimeter. But look at this steal. At 6'6", you get longer arms. Lobbed it up to Spec because he called for it. Now it's his job to kick it out.
Oh, that's nice.
What are you doing, Spec? Top 10 fails of the week. I think he was trying to get that posterizer under the rim. And right here, we have Saucy trying to prove a point, trying to catch a body as well. And I have to admit, I was wrong about that build, the sharp slasher with an 84 driving dunk. At that point, you can get the contact dunk packages. And my man Prodigy, he proved me wrong. Like, I've seen him catch bodies now. Like, it's not as often as I'd like it to be. But I can't honestly say that you're not going to catch bodies at all. Even though this pure playmaker, if I would have made him 1 inch shorter, I would be able to get those packages as well. And maybe catch some bodies too. But I was telling you guys that, you know, the chances are really slim. You're probably never really going to catch bodies. An 84 driving dunk really ain't going to get it done. Oh, don't sag off. I'm pulling from deep. But my man Prodigy has worked really hard to prove me wrong. I have seen quite a few bodies lately. It's still not crazy. You're not going to dunk on everybody. But you can definitely catch him with an 84 driving dunk. Those contact dunks do come out every now and then. Especially if you give him like the slasher takeover. I'm pretty sure you'll really start catching bodies then. So that is a great build. I just don't think he's a great offensive build in terms of orchestrating the offense with the passing. You know, you can get gold dimer though if you make him as a point guard. So that's definitely a good look in that regard. But his biggest weakness is defense. You can just straight have a team bully him all game, and he would be the weakest link. So if I ever decide to make that build, I might have to make him with 9 defensive badges. See how that works out. Right here, it's like almost had a contact dunk right there. It seemed like, big man, I ain't afraid of him. Defense wins championships, but bad lobs equal fails. I think he set me up because I may have set him up earlier. And look, my man Saucy playing the passing lanes, trying to catch a body. Really trying to prove me wrong about dunking on people. That's all I really ask for people to do is play the passing lanes. Check this chase down block. Do not underestimate the pure playmaker's defense. This build is pretty much the most well-rounded build in the game. Definitely the fastest build in the game. You got speed, height, dunking and shooting. Definitely have defense. This weekend I played against somebody who made a 6'8 version. He was still elite. He was still speed boosting. If you make him right, you'll have chase down blocks like this. His defense is so underrated. So listen, if you're short a man for a 2K rep event, I recommend the ante up. You will find some good players. And I know everyone's checking win percentage and SS2 or SS3 and higher. That's also a good way to find some good players. I hope this evidence helped. We went undefeated. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ever. We dunking on them, moving on. And this is it, SS3. By far one of the best rep-up animations in the game.